We can look at it as an anchor that is stopping us and will make us drown, or we can look at it as an opportunity to set our sails and prepare for when the wind will be blowing again, and hence direct ourselves toward greater success.
This is Unplugged, a series of conversations with creative minds from the design industry and beyond, hosted by H&H.
Buongiorno, welcome to H&H UNPLUGGed. We are here today with Mr. Ruggero Ottogalli, good friend of H&H and Managing Director of Downtown Design. Buongiorno Ruggero, it's a pleasure to have you here today with us.
Buongiorno Matteo, it's a pleasure for me to be with you today. Thank you for hosting and coming up with this very interesting idea of Unplugged. It's lovely to be part of it. Hi all the people that are listening. I'm Ruggero Ottogalli. I'm the Managing Director of Downtown Design, who's the leading trade show and the networking platform for high quality original design in Middle East. We will be this year in the 8th edition after 7 very successful editions, always delivering value to the industry stakeholders. I've been living in the Middle East for 13 years now. Originally, I'm Italian, as you can assume from my very marked accent. But I consider now myself part of this region, and I see myself in this region for the upcoming future. I would love to say that this part of the world has offered a tremendous development over the past years, especially in the sector of design. We have seen so much emerging, so much coming up, and it's for us a pleasure and an honor to be a key stakeholders in supporting the regional industry in its development.
Ruggero, we are forced now these days to take a break basically from our usual working days and habits. Someone says that because of that, we can give an interpretation to a crisis as an opportunity. Which are the opportunities that you see for downtown design?
Well, look, let's start looking at the current situation and the current scenario. Definitely, it's challenging. Majority of the industries, segments, sectors, everyone is affected by what's going on in the world. But even if it's hard to see it nowadays, every time, in every difficult times, every change times, there are opportunities that might be hidden at a superficial view, but there's always opportunities to rethink the models, to rethink the business, to rethink the way we're doing things. Now, if we look at design itself as a concept, it was born and it is born to solve issues, to solve problems. Design solves problems. So, and the higher the challenges, usually the greater the final design. So, by default in our industry, whichever challenge we have to face, we need to come up with problem-solving type of solutions or ideas and plans. For what concerns the trade show industry, definitely this situation is causing a high level of concern because trade shows all over the world are currently under fire, and we see what's happening and what has happened over the past weeks, months with the major trade shows being postponed, cancelled, and everyone is forced to rethink their way of doing things. Now, I personally see this era, these days, as an opportunity to kind of redesign a business model, relook at the processes, but most of all, increase exponentially the focus on the value generating chain. So we need to, yes, relook at how we technically do things, but keeping the compass steady on generating value for all the stakeholders involved in our trade show. So in this case, the architects, the designers, the brands exhibiting, the buyers, the partners, the city. Everyone has an interest, and everyone must get a return from the trade show itself. So these days are forcing us to rethink how can we deliver increased value to our stakeholders. And it's, in a way, it's a unique opportunity to do that, because what's happening, the way I see it, has forced us in accelerating the change process that has already started. Okay, what we are witnessing now is simply an exponential growth of issues that probably were already pre-existing, and were already inside our business models and the way we are approaching our commerce and our global expansion anyway. So it's simply kind of forcing us around a virtual round table, stop and say, okay, what do we have to do to change and while keeping delivering added value to the stakeholders. So in this sense, yes, I see it as a tremendous opportunity. I like what I see in terms of community effort, and I believe that this will be the way forward. So all the stakeholders coming together and trying to tackle issues together, trying to work together in make whether it is a better show, a better industry, or a better world. That's the positive outlook that I see, and the greatest opportunity that we currently have on the table, and we must get.
Do you think that when we will be back to a normal life, to the old days, your audience, the audience of downtown design and the clients of downtown design will be unchanged, or you will have a new audience, you will have a different audience? Are you taking in consideration maybe to reshape your business with a new customer or different customers in mind?
I think that our target audience will remain the same. Okay, will always be a networking platform for brands that want to present their novelties, exhibit their products, getting their name out, the competencies out, for architects and designers to learn more about what's new in the industry, what's coming up, connect with brands, for end users, buyers, to learn more about brands and how solutions can help their businesses thrive. So I don't think, to answer your question, I don't think that our target audience will change, but definitely the fruition of the trade show will be completely different. As I was mentioning before, I believe, and we believe, that these community spirit will have a stronger presence in the years to come. So what we are looking at is engaging our target audience way more, giving them more visibility, and having all the stakeholders participating to the trade show, but also in building it. So the fruition will be completely different in the sense that we are going towards an era of customization, an era of tailored solutions. The one size fits all doesn't fit anyone anymore, and you guys know that very well, as this is what we primarily do. So it's all about listening and understanding what each and every stakeholders, whether it is a brand exhibiting or an architect visiting or a client, a buyer looking for something, what are they really looking for, and how can you customize your offer? And I believe, and this is what we are already promoting and offering our potential exhibitors, is designing packages that can cater to their specific needs. No one brand, no one architect is the same or similar to another. They all have different skills, different presence, different size, different necessities, requirements, needs, and objectives. So you can't really have your proposal ready and say, okay, this is the fair will do for you, and that's it. So you need to kind of have that conversation and understand and try to tailor something around the specific requirements, the specific needs and objectives of each individual stakeholder. In doing so, engaging with them and getting them participating to the model way more than what I'm doing so far will be the key. And we have the plan of doing that, in engaging our stakeholders more. So starting from the tailored packages for the exhibiting brands, to getting architects and designers to design stands for the fair, and hence delivering and bringing their knowledge, their expertise, and having them more engaged in the platform itself. We believe that the future will be about sharing and customization. Hence, the trade audience, yes, remains the same because of the DNA of the fair, because of the DNA of the event, but the fruition of the trade show will be completely different, will be more of a social community type of fruition. That's what we believe. And we believe it's important to kind of get all the individual players participating and collaborating in order to create something strong. Look, this is what we've been seeing also recently, where our group, the Art of Dubai group, supported the Dubai culture authorities in an ideathon, where we put together the creative community of the region and international creatives in trying to figure out what the major issues caused by the situations are for the industry, and what could be potential solutions to the problems and the case.
These days, we are using increasingly digital technologies, basically to stay in touch with the world. Do you think that this is creating a kind of bond with digital technologies that will remain, that starting from tomorrow, we will have to think and design, and we will act with a greater presence of the digital technologies in our life, or it's just a temporary way of living because we are forced to it?
Look, Matteo, digital has been already a key presence over the past years, okay, and has been constantly growing over the close past. So again, getting back to the starting point, this situation has simply accelerated something that was already there in a way. So it's forcing us to kind of make it happen faster. I believe that definitely, yes, digital will have an ever-growing, stronger presence in our life, and even for what concerns trade shows, yes, definitely, it will be there. But especially in an industry like ours, I believe that digital will never be able to replace physical experience. Okay, when we are talking about a furniture piece or how the light, a lamp or a light design can interact with its surrounding. These are things that you can't replace by putting them on a digital platform. Okay, you still need to touch. You need to have that organoleptic experience with the product, and that's a key component. I always make the example of the typical person buying a furniture piece. What do? They move it, they play with it, they touch, they flip it, they check how sturdy and resistant it is. In this region, way more than everywhere else. This is also a clear fact, evidenced by how even the strongest digital players in our industry still have massive physical presence, because that's a key demand. We don't buy something like a furniture piece simply because we look at it on a digital platform. Okay, we want to touch it, we want to see it. And by the way, this is true across all sectors. Okay, look at what happens in fashion. Yes, everyone, and I think probably the first time I heard about the death of the brick and mortar model, I was probably still at university. Now we are, I don't want to say it, but we are far away from that date, and we were talking about 20 years at least, and still brick and mortar type of showrooms, stores are still there and alive. The typical experience of the buyer who purchases something online is they will try at the brick and mortar space, and then probably they will look around and try to find the best price or the fastest delivery online. So again, it's a mix between the two. The future, especially for our industry, will necessarily see an integration, a strong integration between the two worlds, the two platforms, but it can only be an integration. Plus, don't forget also the human-to-human experience, which is irreplaceable via a digital platform. Look, the world has already been kind of studying that, working from home, virtual conferences, all the platforms that we are using these days were not created 2 weeks ago once the lockdown started. Okay, they were already there because there was already a demand, but it's the mix between the two. How can we facilitate the life and experience of the people, the human beings, by mixing the two? Look, I've been now in quarantine, self-isolation, working from home, call it as smart working as they try to depict, for now 4 weeks. And the thing that I miss the most is the human connection, is meeting people, talking to people with that close proximity that you can only have by physically meeting them. So exchanging ideas, bumping into people by chance, going to an office, going for an aperitivo. Those things are tremendously vital and useful to generate ideas, to create those sparks that we desperately need. So I don't see the digital overcoming the physical world. I see that integration. To make an example, we all know what is the experience of talking to one of those live chats that you have on website. Hello, I'm Mr. X. How can I help you today? Like, it's not the same of sitting in front of someone and asking them questions about the product, what could it do, or what are the solutions that you can have, or the various differences. We are human beings. As humans, we are social animals. We can't remove that. And a platform like this one will never be able to replace the direct interaction, the direct connections. How can you interact with people? How can you feel what they're thinking or how they are reacting to certain proposals you have or certain ideas or questions that you have? So it will never be replaceable. But yes, digital will have a strong presence in our future world, as it had 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 1 month ago, 1 year ago, simply growing. Now it's up to us how we mix the two and how we make them work. I repeat, the two words cannot live separately these days. They will have to integrate. How we integrate will be the key. Definitely, they cannot replace themselves. So the physical experience, talking about the trade show, the physical experience will remain. So it's what are we giving in terms of digital experience? It could be the live conferences, for instance. How many people can you reach on a digital platform versus on a physical platform for what concerns a live conference? So again, probably live conferences in the future will be more digital than physical, because maybe we will look into into studying, learning something on our spare time, on our free time, instead of during the day. So having that the possibility to reach that content, that specific content, for a prolonged amount of time, for 1 month, 1 year, even 2 years, or whatever you want in a digital repository, is way stronger than having it just delivered once in a theater or in a forum. But it's the integration between the two factors.
Thank you, Ruggero, for the interesting conversation. And I'm glad to see that downtown design is moving, thinking, shaping, reshaping itself to be prepared for the future. I just can't wait to see you for a meeting in person soon, and keep going with our conversations. Thank you very much.
Thanks to you guys. It was a pleasure. I look forward to seeing you for a live meeting. I just want to close with one thought that I have, which is the current situation. We can look at it in two ways. We can look at it as an anchor that is stopping us and will make us drown, or we can look at it as an opportunity to set our sails and prepare for when the wind will be blowing again, and hence direct ourselves toward greater success. I believe it's the latter.
I believe so. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Ciao, Ruggero.
Ciao.